Hello, home bosses. I've been quietly looking into a niche over the last few weeks that I'm getting more and more excited about, and I wanted to share it with you today because I think it's one of those spaces that ticks a lot of boxes for self-publishers, especially if you're trying to build a brand rather than chase one-off sales. And I'm someone who's been self-publishing since 2019, who's looked at a lot of niches and who knows what makes a niche worth your time versus what makes it a frustrating waste of months. And the niche I want to talk about today is cut and paste activity books for kids. And by the end of this video, I'll also share something I'm excited about that's coming in the next few days because there's a tool launching that I think makes this niche even more accessible. Stick with me. So this is the reason this niche caught my eye. When I'm looking at any niche, I tend to ask myself three questions. Is there demand? Is there room for me to come in and do it well? And does it fit with the kind of business that I want to build, which for me is books that build a brand and bring repeat readers, not just one-off impulse buys. So cut and paste activity books surprised me on all three. If you head over to Amazon and search cut and paste activity book, you'll see a healthy mix of bestsellers ranking from preschool scissor skills books to themed editions for Easter, Halloween, animals, food, dinosaurs, you name it. Some of these books are sitting at really respectable rankings, which means they're selling consistently, not just spiking on launch. And the thing I love about this niche is that it sits in two spaces at once. It's an activity book niche, which means parents buy it to keep kids busy, but it's also an educational book niche, which means parents and teachers buy it for learning things like fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, pattern recognition, early literacy, all of that. And that's a lovely position to be in as a publisher because you have two slightly different buyer types looking for the same kind of book. And the books themselves can be designed to appeal to both. So I think that is a good opportunity. Let me talk about the buyer for a moment, because this is something I think a lot of new publishers skip over. The buyer for a cut and paste activity book is usually a parent of a child aged roughly 3 to 7, sometimes a grandparent, sometimes a teacher, sometimes a homeschooling parent. And that's a really interesting sub-market because homeschoolers tend to buy in bulk and they tend to be loyal to authors and brands that they trust. So what does that buyer want? They want something that will actually keep their child busy for more than 5 minutes. They want something educational, so they feel good about handing it to their children, and they want it to look professional, which is the bit I want to come back to in a minute, because this is where most self-publishers in this niche fall down. If you go and look at the cut and paste books on Amazon right now, you'll see two clear tiers. There are books from big publishing houses or established educational publishers, and they look polished, clean layouts, consistent design, professional. And then there are a lot of self-published books that look, to be honest, a bit thrown together. They have inconsistent fonts, awkward spacing, pages that don't quite line up. But this is good news for you, by the way, because if you can come in and produce something that looks professional, you already cleared the bar that a lot of your competition hasn't. And this is the bit I find the most exciting, actually. Cut and paste activity books are perfect for series publishing. You can have books in a series, and series publishing is where the real money is in self-publishing, in my opinion. Think about it. If you do one book on cut and paste animals, you can then do another on cut and paste vehicles, then food, then seasons, then numbers, then letters, then themed editions for every holiday. Each book reinforces the others on Amazon because Amazon's algorithm loves authors who publish consistently in the same space, and parents who liked the first one will look for the second. And this is exactly the kind of niche where building a brand pays off. You're not chasing trends. You're not hoping for a one-hit wonder. You're publishing a catalog that keeps selling year after year, because parents will always have small children who need to practice scissor skills. And I'd also add this, because these are educational books. You can talk about them in a way that builds trust with your buyer. You can write a thoughtful book description. You can talk about the developmental benefits. You can explain why your book is structured the way it is. Educational buyers actually read those descriptions. They want to feel like they're making a good choice for their child, which means your listing matters more in this niche than it does for any generic puzzle book, for example. And that's a good thing, because most of your competition isn't optimizing their listings in the best way. So, what makes a good cut and paste workbook? Let me get a bit more practical for a moment. If you're thinking about publishing in this niche, here are the things I'd be paying attention to. Number one, page layout matters more than you think. These are interactive books. Children are physically going to cut things out, so the layout has to be clear. The thing they're cutting out has to be on the right side of the page, easy to identify, with enough white space around it. The thing they're pasting into has to be obvious. If a parent looks at your book and they can't immediately tell what the child is supposed to do, they won't buy it. Number two, age range matters, and you need to be specific. A book for 3-year-olds is very different from a book for 6-year-olds. Younger children need bigger shapes, simpler tasks, less detail. Older children can handle more complex activities. Pick an age range and design for it properly. Don't try to please everyone. And number three, themes sell. Generic cut and paste books exist, but the ones that do really well tend to have a theme. Animals, food, vehicles, seasons. A theme gives the book personality and makes it easier to find on Amazon, because parents search for cut and paste animals or cut and paste Easter, not just cut and paste. Number four is consider practicalities. These books are usually printed at 8.5 by 11 inches, which is bigger than other books, and they're often in color, although black and white versions can work too at a lower price point. So it's a good idea to do them in black and white sometimes. Number five, and this is the one most people miss, think about the parent's experience, not just the child's. Is there an answer key or guide page? Is there a clear instruction at the top of the page? These small details make the book feel more thoughtful, and thoughtful books get better reviews. So here is where it gets interesting. The thing that holds people back from going deep into a niche like this is the design side. Most people don't have a background in laying out interactive activity books. They can use Canva or they can use Affinity, but the thought of designing 50 pages of consistent, professional-looking cut and paste activities for a book and then doing it again for another book and another is a bit daunting. But here's the good news. Cloudorca, which is a company that I often recommend for design tools, is bringing out a new tool in a few days. I'm so excited for this. It's called the Cut and Paste Worksheet Generator, and it's built specifically for creating these kinds of books quickly and, more importantly, to a professional standard. I'll share more about it in a few days, and I'm giving you a heads up because I'm planning to offer some really good bonuses for anyone who buys through my link. And these are bonuses that I haven't offered before with any other launch. I'll explain everything in detail closer to the date, but if you're interested in this niche and if you're thinking about publishing in it yourself, keep an eye out because the bonuses are designed to help you actually sell the books that you create, not just make them. So the app is going to help you make them and the bonuses are going to help you sell them. So I think this time the bonuses are going to surprise you. They are going to be packed with value. And I'm hoping you are going to look into it because it's really exciting. So that's the niche I wanted to share with you today. Cut and paste activity books, sitting comfortably in both the activity book space and the educational book space. So very strong potential for series publishing and brand building. And it's a real gap for publishers who can come in and produce something that looks polished. If you're already publishing in this niche, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let me know what's worked for you and what hasn't. And more importantly, if you're considering it, what's holding you back? Is it the designing of the books? This is something that holds a lot of people back because it's not that simple, but this tool is going to make that really easy. So I'll be back later in the week with more on the tool I mentioned, including the bonuses I'm putting together. So if you're not subscribed yet and you want to catch that, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.